Hey guys, have you ever been on a mountain bike ride where about 3/4 of the way through the ride you ate everything you had, you drank all your water, and then you just were so tired you had to make it back to the trailhead and you were just hung over your handlebars, just completely exhausted and out of energy? Well, in athlete slang terms, you would have bonked, B-O-N-K-E-D, bonked, or hit the wall. Basically, in most cases, you ran out of energy. So in this vid, I'll go over some of the key things that athletes would be eating before their athletic activity and during their athletic activity to keep them from bonking. Okay, so in a nutshell, we have two different types of carbohydrates. They're not made equal. We have the simple carbohydrates and the complex carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates, you have glucose, you have sucrose, you have fructose, and fructose is from essentially the fruits that we have in some vegetables. So basically we have a molecular structure here and it's by itself. And these, like glucose for instance, is in your bloodstream. It's broken down from the food that you eat, goes to your bloodstream, and glucose and oxygen feed your cells. And they produce ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. It's the production of energy. And it's the whole cellular respiratory cycle. So when you eat a bunch of simple carbohydrates, let's say you had some fruit juice, then you're going to have some instant energy because this molecular structure here, it's easy to assimilate in your blood and get to your cells. And you'll have energy for a short period of time before the juice runs out. Now compare that to the complex carbohydrates, which typically come from starches, and you can see basically this complex carbohydrate is a chain of this glucose molecule here. It's a chain where after you eat and start digesting this complex carbohydrate, you'll start breaking these molecules into pieces, and there's a slow release of these glucose molecules in your bloodstream. So that's the key difference between the simple and the complex, where the complex, it takes your body a while to break this down into individual glucose molecules, and that happens over hours rather than a few seconds or minutes of the simple carbohydrate. These do not get assimilated quickly because your body needs to break down this bond here, this oxygen bond. So we'll go over some of the foods that I believe are essential for athletes to eat before an activity, whatever it is. It's mountain biking, skiing, jogging. It could be basically anything, road biking, snowboarding. It doesn't matter as long as you're burning a lot of calories. It's essential to have a mixture of both simple and complex carbohydrates, primarily the complex carbohydrates. Because if you were just to carry and eat simple carbohydrates, you wouldn't last very long in an endurance event. Okay, so we're off to the foods. Okay, here we have an assortment of complex carbohydrates or starches. Over here on the left we have oats. These are quick oats. They also have steel cut oats, which I've made a little video on. It's really great for breakfast. And we have pasta, semolina pasta. This is rotini, and whole wheat bread. And for those on a gluten-free diet, they would select from the top here potatoes or rice. So all these are just basic examples of the complex carbohydrates. Okay, a lot of people have this size Camelback or hydration unit, which is a 70-ounce unit. And here's one way to expand the amount of fluids you carry in it and also carry more carbohydrates, as in simple and complex. So Basically, I take a water bottle and then I'm currently filling it with Cytomax, and there's plenty of other drink mixes, performance drink mixes like Accelerate, and Hammer Nutrition has Heat and Perpetuum. Basically, go to your local bike store and they got plenty of products that are tailored specifically for biking and endurance sports. You basically want to stay away from any sports nutrition drink that has high fructose corn syrup, it has sucrose, or fructose only. Obviously, you're going to get that sugar rush, that sugar spike in your blood level, and then you'll come right back down after like 15 minutes, and you want to stay away from that. So it's one way, this is one way of holding more fluids, and it'll be similar to carrying a 100-ounce unit like this. Sometimes this is just too big for the trails. So sometimes I'll just fill this up because I want the complex carbohydrates, but I'll only fill this Camelback about 50% of water, but I'll have my carbohydrates here, or maybe 3/4 with water, and then I'll carry this. So, and it fits nicely right inside there, nice and convenient. Okay, another thing you could take for additional carbohydrates are the gels, and I find these are pretty good for the weight. I mean, these are very light, and one of these gels is good for about 45 minutes to an hour of like climbing. So find one that you like. I've had a few that were like really sweet, and it was pretty hard to swallow. I don't like the ones that are just overly sweet. And the ones from Goo, they're sweet, but they're not too bad. I like these. And another thing that you might want to take on a trail is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Most people have bread, they got jam or jelly, and they got peanut butter. So this is good because, like whole wheat, you get your complex carbohydrates from the wheat bread, you get your simple carbohydrates from the jam or jelly, and you have a little bit of protein from the peanut butter, and also a little bit of fat there too. But this is good because it could be 80 degrees or more, and your sandwich is not going to spoil, compared to if you took a turkey sandwich with mayonnaise on it. If it's 80, 85 degrees, you might get food poisoning. So this is a really good and fast way to get really good energy through simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates on the trail. Okay, so hopefully you guys took away something from this, and you're not going to be bonking on the trails. And I will see you on the trails. Talk to you guys later.